Today we have a couple guests as our first guest episode, which is so exciting. But today's episode is going to be kind of a healthcare student perspective, and just with some tips and advice at the end too. But yeah, it'll be a fun pod. But we'll introduce ourselves first before we get into it. I'm Sarah, one of the co-hosts, and in terms of my background in healthcare, I went to pharmacy school at Purdue, got my PharmD, did not get licensed, and then I went into the marketing side in industry and pharma. So I'm doing my 2-year fellowship right now.
I'm the other co-host. My name is Adrian. I graduated from Columbia's physical therapy program in May, passed my licensing exam yesterday.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Thank you. But I went to Purdue with these people. I majored in kinesiology, and yeah, here I am, freshly grad.
Also, he's going to be looking up a different game for us because we started already, so that's what he's going to do on the side. But we can introduce our guests.
My name's Annie. I went to college with these lovely friends, and I'm currently a 4th-year optometry student in New York.
Woohoo!
And my name's Mark. I'm also a friend of Adrian and Sarah from Purdue, and I'm currently a 2nd-year medical student at Indiana University.
You notice how he says my name first before he says your name.
That's literally so
But
foul.
he's known me. Anyways.
Yeah, he's my friend's from Purdue, but I'm like, Mark, we go way back.
Guess I could say that.
Okay, so we're gonna start with a game that Adrian is looking up for us. Are we still doing the same theme?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, just different. Okay, so essentially, it's a game where we have whiteboards, and M is for muscle, or D is for dinosaur. And the game is called Muscle or Dinosaur. But Adrian's gonna come up with a list, and we have to guess
Alright, I'm ready.
what we think it is.
Alright, I hope you guys do better this time.
I hope I do too.
We're gonna start off very easy. Infraspinatus.
Oh, brother.
Alright.
Okay, ready?
3, 2, 1, show!
Yay!
Muscle! Good job. Alright, next one. Tyrannosaurus.
Oh.
How is
You
this
started
harder?
with infraspinatus and then
Alright.
I ran my Tyrannosaurus into the lake. Show!
Dinosaur.
Okay, Mark hesitated. I question if he knows what a Tyrannosaurus is. Alright, next one. Gastrocnemius.
Got it.
3, 2, 1, show!
Muscle!
Good job.
Woohoo.
Alright. Iliocostalis.
Oh, brother. Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
No!
It's a
Oh
muscle.
no! Oh no! Where is it?
This one I can't tell
shoot.
you.
Iliocostalis.
This one, I know it exists, I just don't know where it is. I want to say ribs, because costalis.
yeah, I think it's in the
Oh.
abdomen.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
in there somewhere. Alright. Concavinator. I sat on my concavinator the other day.
No clue.
Are you guys ready?
Okay, yeah.
3, 2, 1, show. It is a dinosaur.
Dino! Woohoo! Doing better than
Mark,
last
Mark and
time.
Annie tied again. Nomingia. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh.
It is a dinosaur.
No!
What?
Mark just has an
is
affinity
I don't know what
for
it is.
dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's not in my word bank.
A fovinator.
Why does that sound like...
In my spare time, I eat a fovinator.
Oh, goodness.
Ready?
No, but I'm just gonna flash one.
3, 2, 1, go. It is a dinosaur.
Dino! Let's go!
Where's that fovinator at?
I had no clue. It was a guess.
Alright, last one. Posterior fibers of the temporalis.
Okay.
Really?
No, I'm kidding. Masseter.
That one's easy too.
That was easy
You
too.
guys know what the
That's a
masseter is?
common
What are
one.
the infraspinatus?
No!
Hold on, let me pull from my bank of dinosaurs. Frontalis.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Muscle.
Good job.
Woohoo.
Good work.
Glad they didn't have to say
That's like the
last
only
So-
one where I know where it is.
I think Mark got all of them right
Yeah.
because he loves dinosaurs.
I think Sarah and I tied.
Let's go.
No, I think. Oh, you did tie. Wow.
So what's his prize or our punishment?
I guess you owe him halal.
This Venmo
7th
request to
Street.
me.
I mean, I guess you do remember some anatomy then.
Well, maybe I just know my dinosaurs.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Wait, is that a muscle?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
God. But I mean, like, it is kind of crazy how they all sound like they could be
They
either
do.
one.
They
do.
do, or bacteria.
Have you seen the
Sound
one?
like bacteria.
Have you seen the one that's drug names or Pokemon?
Oh,
yeah.
Could have done
Pokemon?
that.
That's funny.
So she would have won.
Yeah,
Will I have?
easily.
All right. I thought it'd be interesting if we start off with why we chose our respective fields. We kind of, I mean, the three of us were kind of like pre-health, but you're kind of like pharmacy from like day one. Why don't we start with Mark? Why did you choose med? I mean, the reality is that there's like so many different like fields out there now. You know, like PA and then just NP and just. I feel like for someone, I mean, med is a whole thing in itself. So if you want to just start with that.
Yeah, at Purdue, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a major called pre-professional health sciences, right? And that was a major that basically gave you all the credits for basically all of the professional health programs. So I was that major initially, like my freshman year, because I wasn't sure, like, did I really want to go all the way to med school, or did I want to do, you know, some other, I had a couple other professional programs I was also considering. So it kind of came a little later in college, like maybe towards the end of my sophomore year when I really committed to that field. In terms of why, it really boiled down to just getting more exposure to the field. I shadowed like a doctor for the first time sophomore year of college, which I feel like is late for most pre-meds. Enjoyed it, and then I took up a volunteering position at a hospital, got to talk to patients, learn from some patients and doctors, learn more about what it meant to be a doctor, and enjoyed it, and it kind of took off from there.
Did the aspect of like the schooling though like deter you at all? Because I feel like that's like the main argument for why kids don't want to pick med school these days. It's literally what 8 years of your life.
It did in a way, but I had influences in my family, like role models in my family that I could look up to. So I kind of had an idea of what to expect, so I didn't go in blind, which really helped. Just having perspectives that I could talk to learn more about it before I like fully commit really helped. So that was a big part of it.
So you have doctors in your family?
Yeah.
And you want to talk about your eyeball stuff?
So, I'm currently in optometry school. Going into college, actually even before college, basically all of high school, even early middle school, I'd always known I wanted to do something healthcare related. Not sure why, but that was always an interest of mine. Early high school, I actually was very set on doing pharmacy.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah. And
How
then
did you know about pharmacy?
in 8th grade, they made us do this career presentation project thing.
What did they say about pharmacists?
No,
Like,
no,
so
no,
interesting.
no.
No, I know.
Like,
has
it was like this
stigma.
whole like semester project thing where we had to research one or a couple career choices. And so one of mine was like pharmacy, and we had to like list out what they did, like what the routes were, and like general salary, like random facts about it. That was our project.
Oh my god,
And so-
looking at salary as a middle schooler is crazy.
Yeah.
How do you even know what you're looking at?
So I was like,
10K is a lot.
Yeah.
so that's true.
Oh my god, 100K, I'm a millionaire.
So I was interested in pharmacy and I think like chemical engineering or something
What?
like that.
That's
crazy.
And the reason for that was because in middle school I did this camp, like this engineering camp, and I thought chemical engineering was mixing together different nail polishes
Oh my god.
and seeing what the colors were and the different formulas. So yeah, I had no clue what I was doing, needless to say. But yeah, pharmacy sounded fun to me. And then I realized it's a lot of memorizing, and I didn't care for drugs that much, and all the words were gibberish to me, and I lost interest in that pretty quickly.
Is that not the case in optometry school?
To an extent it is. But I think I just didn't have a good idea either of what each field did.
Yeah.
So in my mind,
so
pharmacy was
true.
just drugs and knowing what they are, what they
Oh.
do,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Which still is pretty accurate for like practicing, yeah.
Yeah, so then that was my idea of that. And I didn't really think that there would be much in like patient interaction aspect, which I knew I kind of wanted.
Wait, is this pharmacist or optometry?
Pharmacy.
Okay.
This is my whole like
Pharmacy.
healthcare journey,
Okay, go for
I
it.
guess. And then I was pre-med for the longest time, all of high school, most of college.
Wait, you're
Most
pre-med
of
in
college?
high school?
Yeah, like
Wait, did we have that in high school?
or like
But
I
you
went
went
to
to like boarding school.
I went to this like math and science school, and like all my friends they knew they at the time wanted to be pre-med and go to med school eventually.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I was on that track most of college until like junior year of college, when I actually decided I don't want to go to med school.
Why not?
So I'm not interested in learning about the entire human body, to be honest, in depth.
Lazy.
In depth and detail, like, and I kind of got to the point where I knew if I went to med school, the only specialty I would be interested in is ophthalmology, and even then, I knew I wasn't interested in surgery. So then, at that point, that's when I did more research into optometry, and the scope it's not the same, but in terms of what I'm interested in is comparable. So in terms of like the patient care aspect, being able to treat, manage patients in your own way, not having to do surgery and go through the surgical training aspect, it seemed more fitting to me.
Is ophthalmology mostly surgery, or what else
I
characterizes
mean,
their scope?
they also do like other treatments, managements of like the back of the eye, general health as well, general ocular disease, whatnot.
So for someone who has like eye problems, should they go to their ophthalmic? What was it?
Optometrist?
Optometrist first, or the
Ophthalmology.
I think it
ophthalmologist?
depends. I feel like typically more patients have an established connection with an optometrist to begin with. And then eventually maybe they would be referred to an ophthalmologist for further care. But I feel like most people go to an optometrist anyway.
Do you actually like enjoy the eyeball?
I think it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Where did
Start
your...
liking eyeballs.
Yeah. How did
Because
you...
like I just feel like that's still like niche, like dentistry people. I wonder if they actually enjoy teeth or they just do it because like they
It's also
have
pretty
to.
hands-on.
Right, but then also it's like optometry. You actually like eyeballs.
What
think
drew
they're
you
pretty
to liking?
So
Podiatrist?
in high school I worked in a lab, and the PI that I was working under, she did research on like rods and cones. So I dealt with mice eyes a lot
Oh my gosh.
in the
Oh.
lab, and like doing cross sections and staining
You're
them.
doing cross section of
Are they
mice
small?
eyes.
Yeah, they're small.
Whoa.
It's kind of fucked up.
Dude.
Sorry.
Simple hands.
So like I worked in that research lab, and I think that was the first time I learned like, ocular anatomy. Didn't really know what I was doing, to be honest, but that was my first exposure to that.
Wait, Mark, what do you like about med then? Because med is kind of like everything.
Everything.
You just like everything.
No, I wouldn't say so. I guess it's just the idea of being able to kind of take care of an entire person, I suppose. I know like most physicians will specialize and eventually focus on one area, but I think the idea of like at least having a higher understanding of how the human body works was really appealing.
Do you think down the line you want to specialize in something?
I do, yeah. I don't necessarily want to remain like a generalist, I suppose, but I think for now, like as we're learning everything, it's still really cool to me. So
Name top 3 fields you don't want to go into.
I don't want to go into surgery, just like any kind of
It takes
surgery. I
forever,
don't
yeah,
want
I
to
get
do
that.
any kind of surgery.
Why not?
It's long,
Residency's like what, 6 years or 8?
at least. I
my
think 5
goodness.
minimum, maybe for some. Yeah, it's just long, and I guess I just didn't want to go through that. I mean, I think surgery's cool, really cool, but me personally, it wasn't something I could see myself doing. I mean, maybe like OBGYN.
You hate
I
women.
mean, that's technically a surgical specialty. Sorry.
That was kind of crazy.
No, continue. I was trying to say subspecialty, but it's not really a subspecialty either. So,
Yeah.
But they're surgeons. And then 3 would probably be peds.
Oh,
do
you
you-
don't?
what do you
Nothing against kids, but
I also hate peds.
I personally just don't want to work with kids.
Sorry, I shouldn't say I hate peds. I'm not good at working with peds. So,
Awesome.
Sarah,
Okay. So when I was applying to college, I think I applied mostly to pharmacy schools and bio and neuroscience. Like I just kind of didn't really know what I wanted to do. It was more like something in the science, medical field. But my parents really pushed pharmacy on me because they were like, oh, it's good for a girl. And I'm like, okay,
my
like
God.
that's terrible. But also like, I guess I didn't really know what else I wanted to do. So I figured, I also wanted to do PA school after getting a PharmD or just like doing BSPS, which is like Bachelor of Science of Pharmaceutical Sciences. It's just like the bachelor pharmacy degree. So I decided to go to Purdue because it was like in-state and like it had a decent pharmacy school. So I figured I would just do that for now and then kind of figure it out down the line. But I think after I like got into pharmacy school after sophomore year, I realized I did like it. Like I liked it enough to get through school. It was really interesting to like know about drugs and like learn how it affects the body, and it's just like so cool that like our body can do these things and like we can manipulate our bodies to do certain things. But I agree, it's a lot of memorization. So much, like I'm fine with like memorization to a degree, but I just like didn't see the point of knowing all this information in my head. Like what is the point for me? Because then I'm just like a walking encyclopedia. It never really stuck. So then I found industry, and then the rest is history. But I think for me, like I just didn't really need the patient care aspect to feel fulfilled in my career. In fact, I actually really hated patient interactions.
Whoa.
Because like, well, from my perspective, it's like I'm at a retail pharmacy and I did that as a pharmacy intern throughout most of my professional schooling years. And it was fun, like filling prescriptions, but it's also like just customer service. And I guess a lot of healthcare is customer service too, because like it's your reputation and everything too. But yeah, just like dealing with insurance, being blamed and yelled at for things that like I really had no control over, and it really is just me communicating to them, but also I didn't know exactly enough about the way that insurance and everything works, so it was difficult to like manage people and their expectations and just like take the brunt of their frustration when it's like all I can do is apologize, try my best, you know? But also like retail was really repetitive too, so that's, yeah. And then like hospital was just too much application of knowledge that I feel like I didn't have, so it was like difficult because like I feel like from my perspective during my rotations in the hospital I would just be like working up patients, right? But it was like more so to work up all the patients on my floor just to like see if there was anything wrong or like see if there was some way to optimize their medication. And it didn't really feel, again, this is just my perspective as a rotation student, so like I know that pharmacists are super valuable on the floor, and like I know just like them interacting with other providers is like really important. And I'm not trying to shit on the profession, it's just my experience with it, and like what I felt satisfied with and what I wanted to do didn't align with it, and it just felt like I was trying to like find a piece of the puzzle that like didn't really need to be there. I don't know, so that turned me off from like practicing.
Damn.
Anyways, so how'd you find your way to PT school?
For me, I've always done like sports and stuff. So then I played sports in high school. So one time I got patella tendonitis, which
Dinosaur.
For everyone who doesn't know who that is, what is it?
who that is?
What that is?
Patella tendonitis is when you have inadequate thigh strength, and then it causes like your little kneecap bone to kind of go like wobbly, and then as a result that kind of puts like weird forces on like your tendons, and then that causes pain. So I went through kind of rehab, funny enough, not with a physical therapist but a personal trainer, which is, I don't know if it was legal at the time. And then I kind of like just discovered the value of like rehabilitation through like movement and strengthening. And then like just me being like a high school athlete, and I was like, oh my god, I love sports and I love like medicine, so let me do like, so I thought I was pre-med for the longest time, but then I started physical therapy like around literally when I entered college. Yeah, in terms of fields I do not want to work in, just pediatrics, honestly. I think it's so hard to find a good pediatrician in general. Like the whole field is so hard because you're taking into account like developmental milestones, their environment, and if they can't, there's just so much that goes into it. And that's my story.
So in another life, we could have all been in med school with you.
Would have been so fun.
Did you ever want to be a physical therapist?
I did. Physical therapy was one of the things that I very seriously considered. And it's one of the reasons why, like, the specialties I am interested in, like physical medicine and rehab, sports medicine. I mean, they're very similar to PT. So I like the musculoskeletal system. So, I mean, yeah. PT
knows
was
some
definitely
dinosaurs.
PT was definitely on my radar.
All right, let's talk about stereotypes in our programs.
Oh my gosh.
Do you think the traditional stereotypes about your programs match to a certain extent? I can start first. Our stereotype is we're all gym bros who love just protein powder and just like to be active, and we're all very social individuals. I would say for the most part, yes, that is very true. My class is for the most part like either ex-athletes, ex-D1 athletes, or just like physical stuff has always been like in their life. And it's funny, I would say about 90% of us are extroverts. So when we all like go out, in fact, when we all met each other, it was like very like friendly. Like everyone just kind of like, our class is very close. But it's so interesting, like seeing ourselves in each other. Like I think we're all ENFP or ENFJs, which is kind of insane. And then like I think I just had to start like on like my first rotation. I was like, you kind of need to have like a specific personality type for your field, right? Like
Yeah,
I don't know if like, again, I'm not shitting on pharmacology. Like I don't know if me as a super extroverted like whatever would flourish in like retail pharmacy. You know, what sort of med? What are some stereotypes about med students?
I suppose it would be like, really type A, really neurotic, really like, just like, paranoid about like failing.
So are you guys?
I mean, there's levels to it. I know that amongst my class, I mean, there's definitely levels to it. Like there's no one size fits all for anyone really.
Do you
Yes
feel
and
like
no.
the characteristics kind of portion out more when it's like your specialties versus just general med student?
Like who's in it for the money versus like?
I mean,
Ooh,
potentially. I mean, I'm not at that point yet where like me and my classmates are, filtering into specialties. So I'm not sure how that's gonna play out, but I could see that happening for sure.
Yeah.
I just can't speak on that yet.
We'll get back to you in 2 years.
Yeah.
What are some stereotypes for like optometrists? Do you enjoy being in the dark?
No.
Funny story, I went to Annie's lab
Oh,
year
yeah.
one,
It is dark down there.
and it's just like you walk into the classroom, I'm expecting like lights because look in the eyes, and it's just pitch black.
Really?
Which makes sense.
Wait, did she do like your exam?
Yeah, you looked
Oh
at
my
my.
God, that's so
It's
Yeah,
fun.
so I think Adrian was one of the first people I brought into school
Best friends.
to practice for like my practicals. So I practiced on him, and we were very helpful.
Thank you.
Does he have healthy eyes?
You have healthy eyes.
Great.
Fix my dry eyes.
True. Yeah, what are there stereotypes?
I don't know if there's stereotypes, but I feel like there's misconceptions,
Oh,
maybe.
What are they?
like
Yeah.
what?
Like, we don't only give you glasses. We can manage like actual like eye diseases and prescribe certain medications and treat diseases. We don't just give you glasses. There's like a lot of specialties and depths within the profession. We did go to school specifically for eyes, so we are qualified. Like we are actually eye doctors. We're not medical, I guess. We didn't graduate from medical school, but are doctors.
I want to second that. I am also a doctor of physical therapy. I am not a medical doctor. But if you have any, first of all, we're not massage therapists.
Oh my God.
We do not. If you come in the clinic and ask for a massage, I will turn you away.
Has that happened?
Also, okay, so I have such a love for older population people, but a big issue with
kids love old
geriatrics, it's a maturity thing, is that they just don't want to work out, and they just want
Why
to lay there
geriatric?
and just put a heat pack on and massage them. And I'm like, that's not how you get better, guys.
I feel like that's a completely separate topic in itself, though. Just like
Part of it is health literacy, and then part of it is I just think when you come to physical therapy, you need to realize you're there to do work. It's not I would say out of all of the fields of medicine, rehab is one of the hardest ones because it requires patience to put in a certain level of energy and effort. I know you don't want to walk, we have to go walk. I know you don't want to do your home exercises. If you don't do them, you're not going to get better, and it's not my fault because I didn't give you a massage. I literally had a patient one time. By the way, no one violate HIPAA, please. I had a patient come to me one time and was like, I'm so tired. I don't want to work out during my session today. Can I just lay there?
And you give me a massage.
And you just massage my back and then put a heat pack on it? And I'm like,
Bro.
I told my supervisor, I'm like, yo, she's back. If you're going to go to physical therapy, don't be that person.
So what did you do?
I just did it. You just have to, and that's the hard part. Like, I can educate them, but if they still want to do what they want to do,
Yeah.
like, what can you? I'm sure like
Yeah.
pharmacists you can educate them, but if they don't want to,
Right. My misconception is also we don't just count pills. In the retail pharmacy, at least, it's actually really cool. Like, you can go up to your pharmacist, because the pharmacist branding is actually like they're the closest doctor that you can see in the community. Like, they're the most accessible doctor. They could be like your first step. So like, yeah, so you can go up to them and be like, hey, I have this rash, can you just like check it out? And then they can, most of the time it's probably refer to PCP, but like at least they can, do a first screening of it and just be like, oh, I've like seen this, I'm familiar, or I've like seen this before, can give you a couple recommendations in the meantime, and then if it doesn't get better, then you can go see your PCP, or like if your PCP is really booked or something, you can at least get some recommendations beforehand.
Like at minimum, they can tell you whether it's urgent or not.
Yeah. They can. You should go to the emergency room ASAP. Oh, our what's it called? Stereotypes are like introverted, smart. But I guess like every profession is like smart, which I feel like is pretty true. Yeah.
Introverted and smart.
Yeah.
Really? I feel like I know so many extroverted.
No, there are. Well, I mean, obviously there's like a spectrum.
I'm not gonna list names out, but
I feel like overall vibe is pretty accurate.
are there any misconceptions about doctors?
Oh, that they're ooh, I got a hot one. In the hospital, doctors are like stuck up. Or like you have to approach them like very like they're always right.
Yeah,
they have their own.
What do you have to say to doctors who are assholes in hospital?
I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, I unfortunately have seen it, just like in various jobs that I've worked in before, and it happens, but it sucks to see. And I guess what I would say is like, I just wish that the doctors that do act like that kind of made more effort to understand what other health professions can contribute and then like how they're part of the team as well.
Preach.
Right? I think that part of that misconception just comes from the fact that there's like a perceived hierarchy, but like in reality, it's more like everyone's working together,
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
That was very refreshing to
That's
hear.
epic. You're gonna be an awesome doctor. Would you guys see your friends?
I would.
I guess that's not as like, but like, say you're like a gynecologist. I'm kidding.
Oh my god.
Okay, so you're like a family doctor, which I know you are interested in specializing, but like, for example, if you're a family doctor, would you be comfortable seeing your friends?
Yeah.
I think one thing that we can talk a little more about what we learned in school, but jumping forward to like what I learned in physical therapy is that like at the very bare minimum, we're all trained to like recognize like danger, whether it's like heart attacks or like DVTs. So I think it's nice that we have like such a community of like different health specialists. Like even apart from like the four of us, we have like nursing friends, we have a PA friend. There's such a wealth of like knowledge we can gain from each other that might not be like reflected in the real work world, So like I just know like from our friend group, like I'm kind of the go-to guy when it's like back pain, like ankle pain. And like I love treating you guys, but I'm gonna start charging you guys. Massage therapy. But yeah, and I've gone to Annie plenty for like contact stuff. Like she helped me find like finally a good brand of contacts that I like after like they kept ripping. That was
Still don't know why.
They still kind of rip, but not as bad as the AccuV ones.
Or your nails aren't even long.
What?
Your nails aren't even long.
What does it have to do with ripping
like,
contacts?
Oh wait, how do they rip?
Oh yeah, we don't know.
Oh.
According to him, they just rip in his eye.
Oh my god.
I've gotten a piece of like plastic stuck behind my eye one time.
Are they just that dry?
Because they're dry, they rip.
I literally don't know. I've asked so many optometrists like, what do you think is going on with my eye? And they're like, we've never heard
Maybe
of
you have
such
a
case.
monster in your eye. It's like
Monster.
eating it away.
And then I was like, do you think I could get like what is that treatment called? Where your eyes get better? Laser? Oh, LASIK.
Your eyes get better?
Sorry. But then they were like, your eyes are too dry.
Your
So I'm
eyes
like,
are definitely too dry.
God.
Adrian.
I'm just fucked.
Yeah.
So we'll wait till Mark graduates before getting my stomach hurty. Yeah, I think there's just like so much like people don't know about like each of our fields that I wish there's a way to just like get it out there. I think if you look at our licensing exam, it's very indicative of our responsibilities and what we're like, we need to know. Like, I had to learn GI and derm and like medication, and you would never go to your physical therapist for that. I know Jenny's like, our friend who's a PA, her exam was similar to that too, and it's just like, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of overlap.
There is, and I just think that if there was a way that we could learn more about what other professions do, it would solve a lot of professional
collaboration.
It would encourage more professional collaboration.
Yeah. What would y'all's advice be for someone who's deciding what they want to do?
Like, are they interested in healthcare and it's like...
They don't know nursing, could be doctor, could be PT.
I mean,
Maybe shadow.
Yeah, I would say just exposure to the field, especially the one you're interested in, but also like if you're considering others, like shadow those as well, because that's really how you're going to see what a day in the life is like. And obviously you need more than just that, but that helps.
Yeah.
I think shadowing multiple times in the same place helps actually. And asking questions. I think sometimes it's hard to know what questions to ask, honestly, but just anything kind of helps a little bit.
Yeah.
And I would also add just like shadowing like an entire day, not just like for like the cool procedure that they do in the afternoon. Like just like shadowing like the whole day.
Like there's a difference between watching one procedure that's like 2 hours long and following them the entire day. Like the entire shift.
Yeah, I feel like what happened when I shadowed was I would almost, like, it would be fine. Like, I would shadow them that one day, and it's, like, so new to me because, like, you know, I'm just seeing that. But, so then I would come away from that day and just feel inspired, just be like, oh, that's cool. Like, but I didn't realize that that's literally every single day. And, like, if I knew that or if I experienced that, I'd be like, holy shit, this is not, like, I would not want to do this every single day.
What kind of pharmacists did you shadow? Retail?
Well, retail I was intern for. Also, just like rotation-wise, like I just realized through my rotations, and they were just 4 weeks. I would just get so pent up.
Only 4 weeks? We'll get back to that. Yeah, kind of echoing everything they said, but also I think biggest thing is take your time. I feel like a lot of kids feel pressure from their parents to, well, A, choose a major, and then B, commit to it like for the rest of your life. I mean, like, I've had so many friends, like, change different health professions or even, like, pivot from, like, healthcare to tech or, like, I mean, as Sarah's doing right now. Healthcare isn't something you rush. It's a commitment you make to your patients. And I think that's what separates you from being a good, like, a healthcare provider and being a bad healthcare provider is you need to know what you're doing and what you're doing, like, how does that affect other people, right?
Aww, that was so inspirational.
I saw a quote where it was, like, I think we've all experienced this as healthcare providers. It's like, you know, like when we like go to the back room and gossip and shit and like talk like, oh my god, they had a weird eye.
Yeah.
You know? But something when something I saw on like TikTok, ironically, was that like for us, it's like our 8th patient of the day and we're about to close. But for them, it's like their lowest moment and they just need some help. And I feel like just like hearing that puts healthcare more in perspective about like what we actually do.
Yeah.
You know?
That's so true. It's good to remember those things. I think like that just reminds me of the times where I was in like a hospital setting and like you just be sitting at the desk at like the nursing station with everyone around and like people just talking shit about stuff or just like people are just so casual about stuff or they complain like, oh, I have to do this for this patient or oh, I have to do this or like this patient's complaining again or whatever. And it just made the experience of being in healthcare for me like such a turn off because I was like, oh my god, like do they actually care about their patients? Which I know they do, but like it is kind of like you just kind of get used to the environment. It's your job. That's how you cope. That's how people are just people. Anyways, yeah, so that's why I'm also in industry because I just didn't like that working environment.
Do you guys want to add anything?
I guess a point that's a little bit less enlightening, but honestly, time and finances are something to consider, I think.
Yeah.
Like a big reason why I was not going to commit to med school is because the only specialty that I would be interested in is ophthalmology. And the chances of the confidence that I had in myself to match in ophthalmology was really slim. Like it wasn't a guarantee. And if I didn't match in ophthalmology, like there wasn't any other specialty that I'm interested in. So it just didn't make sense in my mind to spend the money and time in 4 years of medical school to potentially not match in the specialty that I wanted, the only specialty I wanted to be in,
Yeah.
and then potentially have to go through whatever post-match process they have, and then apply again. And that's just a lot of time and money that I wasn't willing to commit. I think even if I was interested in the surgery aspect, which thank goodness I'm not, like that's just so much time, energy, money that I wasn't willing to risk for a slim chance at getting one of those ophthalmology residency slots.
Did you ever consider like doing PA and then like something eye related? That'd be 2 years and then.
So not really, because PA wasn't really on my radar until around the same time optometry was on my radar, honestly. Like even like looking back, I don't think I would have done that because I feel like just PA would be similar to like you get an entire scope of a little like bits and pieces of everything, and then I would, if I wanted to specialize, still was interested in like specifically the eye and went to optometry school. I just didn't feel like that was efficient, I guess. And even in optometry school, like I guess another misconception going back, we don't only learn about the eye. We also have to take like human bioscience, learn about the skeletal system, cardiovascular system.
You tell them.
A large part of our board exam is systemic health, systemic pharmacology, and physiology. So
you're almost there, girl.
We don't only learn about the eye.
Almost there.
You tell them.
We should like all just like us, like people in healthcare, and then trade worlds with like people in corporate, just to like experience the.
Yeah, I think that'd be really
enlightening.
Yeah.
Really enlightening.
All right.
Have you guys seen? This is a little off topic.
No, go for
but
it.
Have you guys seen those TikToks of friend groups making presentations?
Yes.
Of what they do.
We're gonna
for
do
work?
that. We're gonna do that.
Like their day to day, what their job entails, and like
September.
a whole presentation for their friends.
It's so good. Yeah, get it ready for September.
Wait, also tangent. Have you guys seen the TikToks where they make someone in corporate read like a nursing like?
Oh, yeah.
My God.
What is that?
It's so.
That's
I made
funny.
Rebecca. So basically, it's like you know like all the acronyms we use like year old and then like CHF and then like HT's hypertension. They like put out like a little tiny like patient case and make someone in corporate read it.
Oh my
I
God.
made Rebecca read it. It was the funniest thing ever.
Oh my God.
She got some of it.
That sounds really hard. For
No,
That sounds really
someone that
hard.
I mean,
doesn't-
like, we probably can't
Even,
do
like-
any corporate talk.
Oh yeah,
A
that would be.
line.
I mean, you're there. I learned it will come back in more capacity.
A lot of buzzwords too.
A lot of buzzwords.
Yeah.
And we can't really say that for patients. We will reconvene when we have more capacity.
You will reconvene to me when you have more capacity.
There's a couple more things I want to cover, but we're getting kind of towards the end, so we'll kind of try to talk about as much as we can. Let's talk about schooling experience, because I realized it's actually really different across everyone. The thing you mentioned about a rotation of 4 weeks, that actually blows my mind.
Why?
That's so short.
It is pretty short. How long's yours?
8, 10, 9, 9.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So you have five,
4 rotations in total.
We have 10 rotations.
4 weeks each.
9 to 10 rotations, 4 weeks each.
That is.
Because there's a lot of sectors of pharmacy that you can explore.
But yeah, we can talk about schooling experience. 4 years schooling,
Yep.
plus residency,
Yep.
required residency.
To practice medicine, yes.
Wait, what can you do? Oh.
Like you can
So
do,
what can-
you can do
Oh.
like a lot of different things with a MD or a DO
People
without a
pivot,
residency,
people pivot to like consulting and
or like
whatnot.
pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Would you ever go into pharma?
I mean, it's not really on my radar right now.
You never know.
But yeah, I guess you never know. But yeah, if you want to practice as a physician, then yes, you do need to do residency.
And residency is not required for you?
Yeah, so 4 years of optometry school, and then optional 1 to 2 year residency.
Your doctorate degree too, right?
Yes.
And you?
And then 4 years of pharmacy school. If you want to go clinical route, you can just get a job. A lot of people will get residencies. Or industry route is like, you also can just get an entry level job or do a 2-year fellowship.
Is that very direct these days, the industry route? Like, someone just wants to do industry and they can get it?
It's possible. It might be a little bit hard, but if you have a good network, it's possible.
Okay.
You just might have to start lower too on the scale. But if you do a fellowship, you might be able to enter into a full-time position a little bit higher because you have some experience.
PT is 3 years. Residency, optional, but I heard things are changing. They might require PTs to get residencies.
Is residency for you guys? Oh, you said 1 to 2 years?
Typically 1 year. Most of them are 1
1
year.
year, yeah.
And then yours is
1 year.
Oh.
Damn. So how was everyone's like school lives?
Dude, it was so.
Okay,
ask.
everyone flexed their hardest semester.
If I could pull up my Google Calendar right now, it's just like everything is blocked. Everything. It was like crazy.
School stuff?
Well, I guess it was balancing like club stuff too, or like pharmacy orgs and stuff.
Are you talking about just like purely academically hardest year?
Purely academically.
I mean, caveat, I've only been for the 1 year.
But you think med school is like not crazy hard though, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's
not the hardest
It's
thing
a
you've
lot of
ever
work,
done.
but it's been manageable so far. I expect like it to get harder.
Do you have a
especially
quote-unquote,
up to
like-
third year?
Okay.
Like third year is generally considered the hardest year of med
Okay,
school,
okay.
so we'll see when we get
Eventually.
there.
Should we give a brief outline of like what each year,
Yeah,
like what we expect from each year? Because just saying
Just,
like,
like, what it-
my
what,
first
like,
year
what
is the
you do.
hardest doesn't mean anything.
Go
like
ahead.
talk about like what
didactics,
what the
yeah.
difference is between the 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, the first 2 years of medical school are your considered didactic years, preclinical years, and that's basically it's like classroom learning, laboratory-based learning, lectures, exams. It's kind of like it's like undergrad, but obviously like a level above undergrad, and it's not so much patient focused yet. Like you're really not seeing patients. If you are, it's more so in like you're shadowing a doctor or you're working in a student-run clinic, something like that. But you're not a direct member of the healthcare team yet. Starting third year, you start rotating through the core rotations. So you'll spend like 8 weeks on surgery, 8 weeks on internal medicine, 6 weeks on OBGYN, so on and so forth. And at that point, you're considered part of the healthcare team, and you round on the patient before the rest of the team does, gather their history, do the physical, report your findings back to the team, and then they go through them and then do their own rounding. And that's what I understand at this point. I haven't done it yet. But yeah, that's third year. And then fourth year it can vary. Generally, you're still doing some rotations, but generally it's more geared towards elective rotations and your specific specialty. That's what I think it's like. I'm not sure, but it's generally lighter than third year. Third year is generally considered the hardest.
Ours, first and second year, are didactic years. Granted, this is just my program. Each school is slightly different, but for us, the first 2 years are basically purely didactic with some shadowing and scribing experience kind of sprinkled in. Third year is when we actually start seeing patients, and it's kind of half patient care, half didactics. By fourth year, it's just all rotations. We have 4 rotations. Each are about 3 months long. I think it's like 11, 12 weeks. And for my school specifically, we have the 4 rotations have to meet like certain categories. So we need 1 specialty care, 1 primary care, 1 ocular disease, and then 1 in-house rotation where we just rotate through all the clinics in our school.
Whoa. Damn.
Good exposure. Pharmacy school, so the way I did it is a 6-year program, so the first 2 is like regular freshman, sophomore, undergrad as pre-pharmacy, and then you apply for school into the 4-year professional programming. So like P1, which is like pharmacy 1 year, is the first 3 years of pharmacy, like professional schooling, are didactic, and then the last one is rotation based. The first, I think it's the second semester of the first year, you start therapeutics, which is like the meat and bones of all of the pharmacies. Like that's where you learn all of pharmacology, all the like things, and it's just broken down into like body system, or not body systems, like kind of like topics like cardiovascular, diabetes, whatever, etc. And then you have that for 5 semesters, so the rest of your didactic semesters you have a therapeutics class, and it's like 6 credits, so it's like you meet 3 times a week for 2 hours each time. It's like so much. And then rotations kind of sprinkle in even before the 4th year, so you have one like in between the summer of your like 1st and 2nd year or something, I think another one the next year, and then you have like 9 to 10 rotations your last year, and also like it has to meet different areas, so it's like some community, some hospital pharmacy, like inpatient, some outpatient pharmacy, some I can't remember. I did some like industry rotations, so you can do like elective ones, some ambulatory care. I actually like the ambulatory care ones. Those are more like clinic based.
I still think 9 to 10 rotations insane. Like you just travel.
Yeah, and
every
like
couple. God.
For some people, if they're like in different states or locations, they have to like move every like month or so.
Okay. Physical therapy is 3 years. So again, it differs between each school. Columbia specifically, our first year is all didactic, where we focus on the basics. It's like anatomy and all that stuff. Our second year, second semester is the hardest one. We're taking 12 classes at one time, and it's absolute pain in the ass. And then our first clinical is that summer. No, first clinical is that winter of our second year, and then we have 3 other ones scattered throughout the rest of the years. Our third year is electives that we can do like for fun. So we have like a specialty track, ortho, neuro, or pediatrics. And then you can do like fun stuff like yoga or like telehealth or like foot and ankle sports. But I know that is like Columbia specific because we kind of cram our 3-year program into like almost 2. And yeah, we have the 4 clinicals, and that's kind of it. All right. We're kind of entering the last segment of our thing, so we wanted to end by kind of giving the audience maybe like some tidbits about our specialties and how maybe they can benefit from it. I can start. So, guys, when you get older and you get weaker, especially for those who sit at desks all day, you lose strength in your hip muscles, like over here. So everyone should start doing like clamshells. In fact, a lot of your knee problems, now that running is such like a big thing, a lot of your knee problems, a lot of your back problems is because you don't have stability here. Typically, your like glutes like here are very strong, but here is very underdeveloped, and you need stability from here to not feel pain. So one of our roommates I actually watched get treated at one of my rotations does clamshells now every single run he has, and to my knowledge he's never had knee pain ever since. So I would do and also if you're not working out, do some sort of strength training, some sort of cardiovascular conditioning. You might think you're young and invincible now, but you're really preparing yourself for like the future. Women, you're more subject to osteoporotic changes. Men, you have your own stuff to deal with. But yeah, like I think we're at the age where you can still work out, you can still move around, but don't take that for granted. So really like start hammering in like those. It's not even just like I want you to work out, it's the act of like having that discipline to be able to take care of yourself. I think that's what it really builds at the end of the day. But clamshells and go do physical activity.
Riveting advice.
I feel like I'm being called out.
Yeah, I know. So at the pharmacy, you can buy syringes.
What are we going to do with that information, Sarah?
Do what you will with that information. No, I'm kidding. Well, they do take your ID to document what you buy, and usually they'll ask what it's for, and they probably won't question you too much if you just say something. But anyways, that's just a fun fact. Don't actually use that. You can, Sudafed, like behind the counter, is more effective than, is it phenylphedrine? OTC? If you need something of that sort, just like get it behind the counter. Like just don't even play around with phenylphedrine. It just doesn't, it's not as effective.
What kind of medication is it?
It's a nasal decongestant. If you're, I feel like most people would know about this, but like there's GoodRx, which is like a coupe. Basically, it goes, you use it instead of insurance for medications, but you can always just like check it online to see if it's cheaper than your insurance. But if you're trying to meet a deductible, it doesn't go through the deductible because it's not going through your insurance. So that's just something to keep in mind, but you can check it out. Oh, for the pharmacy lines, if you're really in a rush, or for like when you're calling a pharmacy and you're like super in a rush, you can just say that you're a provider, because it just basically goes to the pharmacist. I don't abuse this, like sometimes it is annoying, but people do it, and like it's fine. Ultimately, it's like if you're like really emergency or something and the line is way too long or the wait time is way too long, you can try that. Honestly, yeah, there's probably more, but that's all I can think of right now.
Okay, I guess Adrian earlier asked me about his dry eyes.
For a million times.
So, general advice for that, use artificial tears, preferably a brand name, because recently there have been a lot of recalls and infections relating to artificial tears.
What are some brands to avoid?
How about I give you brands to use?
Fair enough.
So use Sustain or Refresh. I have no financial gain, unfortunately, but use Sustain or Refresh.
Sponsor us, Sustain.
Yeah. And if you wear contact lenses, find something that's preservative free, because most eye drops have preservatives in them, and your contact lenses will soak up all of those preservatives like a
gosh.
sponge, and it'll just be sitting on your eye, which is toxic.
Ooh.
So find something preservative free. Adrian specifically inquired about hot compresses. So they're like heat masks that you put on your eyelids. We all have oil glands in our eyelids. Sometimes they get clogged or they just don't produce oil as they should. The hot compresses kind of melt the oil glands in a way so that they'll naturally express. The oil is really important in our tears so that the tear film stays stable. Our tears don't evaporate as fast. So that's also really good. Oh, another good tip that people never enjoy hearing is take breaks from your computer and your phone. Like when you're on the computer, phone, even reading, like focusing on something, you just don't blink as much. And you need the blink to refresh that tear layer on your eye. And honestly, like mechanically, it helps produce the oil that keeps your tears stable. So if you're staring at a computer all day, you're not blinking, and your eyes are just gonna dry out because you're not blinking. So take breaks.
You know what? You should take breaks to do some clam shells.
Yeah.
2 birds with
So,
1 stone.
Yeah.
Is there any research on how long a person's eyes should stay open before they blink?
There is actually. I
You
don't know
what
the
number
numbers,
is? Oh.
but
What if you're just like freaking?
yeah.
I'm moisturizing my eyes.
Yeah, but like definitely when you're focusing on something, you definitely blink less
Interesting.
than when you're just like
I know
out and
that.
about doing things. Yes, take breaks.
Isn't there that thing? Okay, wait, this is really dumb. You know that thing where it's like, how do you tell if someone likes you? It's like they blink less because they want to like see more of you.
Really? They don't blink more?
Oh, maybe like batting your eyes.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyways.
Anyways.
Oh, this is a cross between. Sorry, we're like probably so out of time. But this is a cross between optometry and pharmacy school. I remember we learned that you should never lick your contacts or like lick someone's eyeball because there's potentially, it's a really rare bacteria, but if it is present in your saliva, it can blind your eye. So you should never rehydrate your contacts by licking.
There's a whole, I feel like there's a whole list of contact lens hygiene
Oh god.
do's and don'ts. Like that's definitely a big don't. Another big don't is don't rinse your eyes in water.
Your eyes. Wow. Wait, don't people say to do that? That like if you have something in your eye,
Like if you have like acid in your, like you know how in chem labs they have
Yeah.
like an eye wash station?
But what if you feel like you have a foreign body and you just can't
Then
get
you
it
can
out?
use like saline.
Oh.
Yeah. Or like even like multi-purpose solution, like contact lens solution.
What's your
Like,
take
at least-
on showering with contacts?
So
Oh.
not advised.
Why?
Because you don't want your contact lenses to be near anything with water. Similar to like
Huh?
what, yeah, so like as I said, the contact lenses kind of like soak up anything. So if you're in the shower, in the pool, they're just soaking up all that water. And similar to why you don't want to rinse your eyes in water, there's a lot of like microbes, bacteria in the water that will just be
Yummy.
soaked up into your contact lens, and then you're at a higher risk for like an acanthamoeba infection, which is like
that
so
a
painful.
dinosaur?
What did you say?
Oh yeah, it's
Something amoeba?
That's a big word.
yeah.
Say it again.
So acanthamoeba.
Acanthamoeba.
Yeah. So that's why you should not shower or swim or do anything related to water in your eyes in contact lenses.
That's crazy. I shower.
I'm
all the
so
time.
curious how many people actually follow that advice. Probably very small percentage.
But I think the thing is, like, people are like, I'm not blind yet, so I'm gonna do whatever I want.
I know,
so
yeah.
many people that do this.
So they should just go blind.
No,
Okay.
that's not the goal here. The goal is to prevent them from going blind.
That's why I always say I can't surf because I can't like not wear contacts, and then I don't want to get my eyes wet.
Wait, so what would you prefer someone do? Like, someone do if they need their contacts to see, but they know they're gonna be in that environment.
Like
just tank it.
pool?
Yeah.
Like at minimum goggles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Would you
weird
recommend-
goggles.
Oh, no one looks sexy in goggles. What about like hard contacts? Do you
What about staring at the
recommend
sun?
Solar eclipse. Sorry, what was your question?
that? Oh, hard contacts?
Like the kind that you sleep in at night. Is that what you're thinking of specifically?
Yeah. Do you have to like start that when you're younger?
You don't
Or,
have to
like-
start that when you're younger.
Wait, let's get to Mark just because
Yeah,
I know what the time slot is and we're nearing it. So
Okay.
I mean, I don't have the experience or knowledge to give anything as in depth as what you guys have said. So I'll just say some like very common themes that came up frequently in our like patient case vignettes about what the patient was doing or wasn't doing that led them to where they were. So I mean, just things like Adrian said, exercise, eat your vegetables, get enough sleep, wash your hands.
You can make a comment on like medication use.
But like we haven't really learned like how to administer medications or how to dose medications or anything like that yet.
Fair enough.
You know, like what do you mean by?
Well, I mean, just like guys, if y'all have older parents, just check on their medication. A lot of my issues in the inpatient was because they were mixing medications and then taking too much of them, and that just leads to all sorts of problems.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that just falls under the umbrella of like be an informed patient.
There
you know,
go,
like.
Yeah. Don't think you know better than the doctor, because you don't.
But also, like, you know, invest in your own health, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, like, take ownership of your body, because it's the only one you're going to get. Be mindful.
Yeah. Okay, so clamshells, medication, eye drops. Did you say? Oh, it's just Sustain. Sponsor us and invest in your body. All right. So per tradition, we end our podcast by doing questions from We're Not Really Strangers. So we have them picked out, and I guess we'll answer 2, and we'll go around and share. We'll start with as a child, what do you think I wanted to?
Like we answer for
We
you.
answer for you?
Yeah. What did I want to be, guys? What do you look? What did I look like I wanted to be?
A basketball player.
Yeah. I agree.
Is that my only character trait?
I can see
play
astronaut.
basketball. I did want to be an astronaut.
You just seem like the type.
What the
Out
fuck?
of this world.
Yeah, I wanted to be like a policeman or fireman or a Power Ranger from like
A transformer.
become a transformer. That's crazy. All right, Sarah, artist.
Like a director. Like a movie director.
Oh,
I
I meant like
could see
a.
actress.
Oh.
I think actor, actress, model, teacher. I like would read to my stuffed animals and like do the whole thing and show them the picture.
All right, any optometrist. I don't know why. I want to say NASCAR driver.
Is she's wearing like blue?
No, I just imagine her like with a helmet and like
Oh
with
my
a racing
god, that'd be
uniform.
epic.
I take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
giving me like vibes.
Bold, yeah. I can say something artsy because I know you did like maybe like I don't know why painter is coming to mind. Maybe not painter because you do like bullet journals and I feel like that's kind of your creative outlet.
As a kid, though.
Well, it's got to stem from somewhere. I feel like you would have been really craftsy as a kid.
All right, Marcus. Well, oh wait, we didn't get your answer for Annie yet.
Oh.
I hadn't thought of anything, to be honest.
She had no aspirations as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, actually. That's weird.
I never thought about it.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I don't
Alright.
go around thinking about.
No, like you would think I would.
Yeah.
I'll think about it. I'll get back to you.
Okay, sounds good. Honestly, the only thing I remember from my childhood that I remember wanting to be was a gymnast at one
Oh
point.
my god!
I can
totally
see that.
Yeah,
That's
for the
cute.
1 year of gymnastics training that I had in first grade, I wanted to be a gymnast.
Oh.
So cute.
All right, Mark.
What you got?
Professional curler.
Okay.
You also want to be a Power Rangers.
I did watch Power Rangers a lot.
Let's go.
You want to be a football player. Like play for like the Indianapolis Colts. At some point, you're like me and my little.
At some
cats."
point, yes.
Aw, little Mark. Does
A
Annie
coach?
also not have an answer?
Like
No.
a sports coach, doctor.
Not as a kid, no.
I actually don't have an answer.
And this is
Alright, we need to work on this.
disgusting.
We'll talk about it.
You guys can have your deep talk about it. All right, second question. What would your younger
Wait,
self?
Mark, what was
sorry.
your...
What
would you
did I
say?
want to be as a kid?
Yeah.
A fireman.
I think
I-
all kids want to be.
I
Some
was
sort
one
of
of the
like,
kids that had the little toy trucks that they would push around.
Oh.
And I had a lot of them. And like I built a lot of Legos, so I built a lot of cars and trucks.
Interesting.
So, fireman. I was also a big dinosaur kid.
That's how you know
Um,
it's dinosaurs.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I don't know if
I
that's weird or cool.
like I remember like watching Jurassic Park and
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah, just being digging up the fossils. Paleontologist, I think is what it's called.
Did you like the Children's Museum?
I did.
Oh my god, that was my
I went
favorite
there.
exhibit.
I went there a lot.
All right, second question. What would your younger self not believe about your life today? You know what? To stay on a lighthearted note, that I have longish hair now. Because I used to sport either the buzz cut or the Justin Bieber side part, and this long hair has been more of a grad school. You know what's weird? Everyone in grad school thinks I had a mid part in undergrad. Until they see photos of me from undergrad, they're like,
Had that little
exactly.
the line.
Oh my gosh.
But you guys know me as the
Yeah. Oh my god, I can see it in my head.
Stop. Delete that from your memory. But yeah, I have long hair now, younger Adrian.
I think honestly that I live in New York City. That's a
real?
big one.
Yeah, Oklahoma, New York City.
Yeah.
That pipeline's crazy.
Even if you told college me, I don't think I would have believed you.
Either one of y'all.
I
Popcorn Mark.
I think for me, kind of the flip side of you, the fact that I'm still in Indiana. I think if you had told 5-year-old me that I would still be in Indiana 20 years later, I think I would be like,
Bro.
really? What?
I mean, yeah, I feel cheesy, but also just that I'm in New York, that I'm maybe maybe that I actually started a YouTube channel, because I think when I was younger, oh god, I made some and I did post them, but I didn't advertise them anywhere. They're really bad videos, but maybe it's just cool that I actually bit the bullet and full sent it.
All right, I think that's the end of our episode. I hope that you guys feel more informed about healthcare, and if you guys have any other questions, you can always reach out to any of us. We'd be more willing to help.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
TTYL.